Welcome back to Under the Tree, episode 1. Oh my god, you're like, oh my god, what? Episode 1? Yet you said welcome back? Well, I assume you listened to all the pre episodes, right? I didn't do all those for no reason, okay? So I recommend if you did not listen to the pre episodes, go ahead, listen to those. Or I guess if you like this episode, then go back and listen to them. But it'll make more sense if you just did pre-episodes. That's why I named them pre-episodes. Okay. Today marks the 19th year anniversary of Shelley's passing. I will bring people on this podcast and they can say their opinions about certain things. People that knew Shelley and people that, think what happened to her. You can come to your own conclusions. That's the word I'm looking for. Conclusions. Or, hey, just make up whatever you want. I mean, that's what everybody else has been doing for 19 years, right? As you see, this is episode 1. I could not get a third pre-episode because my third team member did not respond to me. They did send me a text though that said, "Oh my God, good job! You have a podcast! Yay!" You know, um, that's the kind of condescending messages I get from my mom. I don't need that from a former business partner. But whatever. Let's blow this up, okay? And then when we are all like super maxed out with like spin-offs and stuff, and then they try to get on, we're gonna be like, oh you, Wham City? Oh man, we're sorry. Just so busy. You can talk to my assistant, who will probably still be my babysitter because I have a lot of kids and they need to be watched, not by me. I quit my job for this. I quit my job to focus on this. Um, yeah, I had 2 jobs earlier this year. And they were stressful, especially juggling those after my stepdad went through the roof. So yeah, it's been hard, and I burned myself out, and I really just didn't have the patience to deal with other human beings anymore. And their bull stuff. Life is too short, and I'm not gonna take it. So what if I'm poor? Okay, I've been there before, bruh. All right, rice and beans. We'll make it. We're alive. I'm alive. That means I still have a chance. Please also don't forget to vote in the poll from the last episode. If you click on the episode description, you'll see that there. Do you want Zlo to be on here permanently? Yes, no, or maybe. Someone asked me to clarify what maybe was. Maybe was more like, yeah, they come on and there, when you need them, stuff like that. Okay? Because I would like to put a lot of pressure on her to come back. All right? Because it's hard talking alone. I don't know how you Gen Z folk do it on the lives and stuff. And even the lives, I guess you get comments back, but this is talking to a wall. So this episode, we're gonna, by we I mean Ian. Ian's gonna try and give you some facts while staying on topic. Probably gonna just put my opinions in there. If you want to just know cold hard facts, I'll link you to the news article from the local news, and they can be like, "This just in, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. This time, blah 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 that time, blah 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 blah. blah suspects, blah blah. No one." Well, if that's what you're looking for, go do that. All right. Don't listen. You should still subscribe though. Help me out. Come on. But don't listen. Right? If you want them cold, hard, boring facts, then go ahead. But I'm going to give you a little more perspective because I am a mental health professional, and I will tell you other people's perspectives from mine. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a linguist, comedian, mental health specialist. Stick with what you know, right? I still want to remind you my own depression has nothing to do with how much I care about this case or myself. Okay? Doing my best. Oh, lose it. Oh, yeah. Need more pills. We got this. Well, thank you for supporting us. Again, I'm going to keep thanking you, people. Please, please share this. Please. I'm trying to share this on social media. I'm trying to let everybody know about this. It's rough. It's rough. It is rough trying to share this. I mean, I don't know how to get through to Gen Zers a little bit, you know. You're probably going to see me do some viral dancing and then just clicking and just letting them, link it to the podcast. Maybe they'll figure it out then. But times do change. I don't know. Maybe you have to start doing like little dances while teaching math to kids, just to keep their attention. I mean, look, they just keep swiping away. I mean, what's dopamine, 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 dopamine. Of course, you got to do something to get their attention. It's not going to be this. Not going to be talking all slow and weird into a microphone. I'll tell you that. Because I'm bored myself. 19 years. 19 years. I ironically went to the Burger King that Shelly used to work at a few days ago. And my kid got a Happy Meal. And you know what the toy was? A Superman toy. A Superman toy. That's what it was. They got a Superman toy in their Happy Meal. I felt like, maybe someone up there was sending me a message like, keep going, because Superman, Clark Kent. I just want to make sure you guys got that right. I don't know how big your brains are, right? Superman, Clark Kent is Superman. Get it? Guardian. Keep going. Okay. There's no need to shout at me. I'm just joking. Listen, remember, I use humor to cope. All right? It's my curse. It's my curse and my superpower. All right? My therapist just said he sees it as a curse, but forget them. That's why I've only been back there one time since my stepdad went kaplooey and goofied himself off a roof. I'll be fine. If you want to donate to this fund, once I have 100 listens, there'll probably be a button there or something to donate. I'm not going to make this a subscription-only model. That's mean. And I want everyone to hear. Everyone, including you, the killer. I want everyone to hear it. All right? So I'm going to make it so they all can hear it. Yeah, because we didn't forget. All right? All right. So we're going to jump into episode 1. God, here we go. We're going to see how it goes. Episode 1. Let's go, baby. Woo! Alrighty, episode 1. Here we go. Hey, this message goes out to the killer or killers of Shelly. You guys think you're pretty cool, huh? Murdering people and getting away with it. You guys will be found out. You think you guys can protect each other? You can't. People turn on each other all the time. It's over. Give up now. You're making me do work. And I don't like work. And when I have to do work, I get mad. Alright? I'm sorry you all had to witness me get so angry there. I'm usually a very calm person. But not when it comes to murder. Not calm. Okay. So, Shelly, what happened to her? On August 14th, 2005, Miss Mary Rachel Shelly Carson was found dead in the Kings Grant Circle in Virginia Beach. Now, This is an area that I knew a lot of people from because, same high school. This is an upper middle class neighborhood. These are the kids whose parents aren't home usually, and you can go in the liquor cabinet. Okay, it's that kind of level. And there's even a neighborhood close to it that the school pulls from. It's called Little Neck. They have even more money down the street. Okay, I'm talking $1 million houses over there and stuff. All right, so Shelley was in a good area, a good neighborhood. So there is a neighboring neighborhood that the locals call King's Grunt. Okay, and now this is the working class neighborhood, I would say. Okay, that are just working class. I mean, that's really it. But with working class, sometimes come working problems. So a lot of the youth that she was hanging out with, not the greatest influences for her. Her dad was aware of that. And I think by saying that, she had a lot of dates and she went out a lot and did drugs, that it really did hurt the case in the end because a lot of people just kind of wrote it off. They were like, well, she's out doing drugs, she's probably in gangs, all those terrible stereotypes that we think of. Even the cold case detective was quoted saying that she was living a, quote, high risk lifestyle. Wonder what that means. I mean, she's only 18. She's a few minutes from home, and she's on a bicycle. I guess the high risk lifestyle is what? What, being out late? I mean, what else could she be doing? They're only implied things. There's no direct things. Everything's just implied. So that really affected why there was no national coverage on this. Because you paint a picture of somebody who's troubled. I digress, if I knew what that word meant. Let's get back to the point of Shelley and what was going on that night, how that night started. Somewhere around 3 a.m., Shelley went up to the local 7-Eleven to visit one of her friends and get some cigarettes. Okay, she was a cool kid. All right, she smoked at 18. All right? Well, what can you say? What can you do? All right. There is surveillance footage of her doing this. Okay, then we have a witness say they see her bike in the circle around 4 a.m. Okay. And then we see another person who also confirms that they saw her in the circle around that time. But, flash forward to 6 a.m. Oh, there's a body in the circle. There's a dead body in the circle. And guess what? Oh, man, there's no pants on this person, no underwear on this person, one sock missing, and her bra is pulled above her breasts. Not good. The medical examiner and the police believe that because of the underwear and the bra, they believe that a sexual assault was attempted. Not sure why we're still at attempted. Can't we do forensics to see if it happened or not? Her face is, and I'm going to just be more explicit than what I've heard other people. People said her face was bleeding a lot. No, her face was smashed in. So smashed that the face was unrecognizable. The face was unrecognizable. Okay? I want you to really picture this is like if a zombie ate your son, right? And you get so mad, you get a blunt object, right? And hit that zombie in the face. Maybe this zombie is also your ex-husband that you happen to hate. All right, so you're really beating him, right? You're doing overkill here, okay? All right, someone has to pull you off, like, whoa, dude, they're dead. Can you stop? That's how bad the the beating was. She had to be identified by the type of shoe she was wearing because her face was so unrecognizable from the level of beating. People report that her head and face was so badly damaged that the police would not let the dad come to look at it. They just said no. They said no. No, just stay back.
So let's talk about the forensics.
People said that this forensic team was not the greatest, the smartest. Like we said, this was a very upper middle class neighborhood. And they're not used to many homicides. It's like you said, it's the bayou, right? We country folk. What's going on over there in Kings Grant? Murder. Gee, get my hat. And get my glove box too. I need that. Maybe that's what went down. We'll explore that in a later episode. Hey, all right. So what I have for you is another interview because people like interviews, and I like doing them. Like I said, no wall to talk to, someone to speak to, a human. It's great. So, here's an interview with a licensed therapist that knew Shelley when they were children. Enjoy. Well, you guys are in for a special treat. I have another guest here on the podcast. What would you like for you to go by? What would you like me to call you?
Laura.
This is Laura, and she knew Shelley from childhood, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, and she is a licensed therapist. What is your specialty?
I specialize in working with kids and adults of neurodivergence.
Oh, good. That's why you're talking to me. That's great. So you are going to discuss some of the reasons, Shelley was considered to be acting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even from the most 2020 update that the detectives gave, using verbiage like she was living a high-risk lifestyle. She had a lot of friends, a lot of partners. She knew a lot of people, more than average. What are they implying, and what do you think this means?
Well, she made a lot of partners. Makes me think that they're indicating sexual partners, and that she knew a lot of people, a lot of sexual partners.
Oh no. Does that mean getting your face bashed for that, or?
I don't think that justifies it. I don't think it ever does.
Okay. And as a reminder, Shelley was adopted. But aren't there some higher risks for being adopted, like for behaviors?
Tell me more about what was it? The high risk lifestyle. Was that ever explained?
That was never explained. No, none of this is ever explained. These are just the quotes.
Okay. I mean, she was adopted at what age?
Under 1 year old.
Okay. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes infants who are adopted, prior to the adoption, they've undergone some form of trauma. Maybe they were in some kind of environment that wasn't safe for them. They were abused, neglected. That can affect development. And yeah, that could potentially cause some kind of behaviors later in life. But that's not the case for every adopted child. And I think something that's more common with children who are adopted, once they reach the age of puberty, they start to, I don't know, quote unquote, act out. Because they have finally reached a point in their life where they understand what adopted means. and they begin to have questions about their biological family and, where their place in the world is. And that on top of being a teen, it's a lot to handle.
Especially a teen where we're from, right? Because aren't you? Well, you're also from here, right? This area.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you know Shelly?
So I was on the soccer team with her. I was on the soccer team for a really long time, actually, from when I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 up until middle school. And I remember being on the team with her when I was like just starting out pretty young. And I also remember at least like 1 year when we were older, maybe in middle school with her. I wasn't very close with her, but I do remember her being really nice. And someone I probably would have liked to have been friends with.
I'm sorry you never got that chance.
Yeah.
But like you said, when she was back to when she was a teen, acting out. Yeah, I mean, like, what is she? She's just trying to find identity, right? Like,
Yeah.
also, the person who you came out of didn't want you. Like, that can't be good, right? I mean, I'm not a licensed therapist, but I mean, that can't. I mean, I don't even know my own biological dad. That hurts. So I could imagine somebody who actually pushes you out and is like, take it away.
Right, which like is not always the case as to how an adoption happens, but yeah, for a teen thinking about the fact that she was adopted, I'm sure that thought went through her head. And she was being raised by an older father, right?
Yeah, they adopted her, and there's his older years.
So I mean, leaves you to wonder how much was he able to kind of process all of those emotions with her.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to get someone on here to find out. But we just go by assumptions, by his age, his military background.
Right.
Seems like he'd be really routine, stern, and just probably just having premarital sex was like, oh my God, what are you doing? And weren't they're really big in the church?
I think
so that's how they found, they were on the way to church that Sunday morning. That's how they found her.
Right. So I mean, all these high risk behaviors that are being mentioned really could have just been behaviors of a slightly rebellious teen, because she's going through what teens go through on top of understanding that she was adopted.
Listen, I listened to another episode of another podcast, and they said she had a therapist.
Oh my!
Yeah, she was really acting out. Yeah.
Well, my question to that is, what are the notes from the therapist? Was that ever subpoenaed?
I don't know. We'll have to ask the detective. But why? You grew up with these people, right? And I already described them. The Little Neck folk, the Kings Grant folk. Why do you think she would gravitate more towards that working class neighborhood? She's working at a Burger King. When all her other friends are doing what? What the rich kids like to do, right?
Right in her. Well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, when I was on the soccer team, I felt like she was really, I mean, I said nice, but she's really down to earth, which is not always the case with other people in the neighborhood. So, and you said she was in therapy. Maybe she needed to be around a group of people that felt more accepting.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And I'm sure she felt very different because she was adopted. Maybe she felt like she didn't fit in with the crowd that she was around in terms of her neighborhood.
Did you feel like you fit in over there?
Really?
Okay.
I mean, it's I up until 8th grade went to Friends School, which is a private school. So
See,
I
private.
I wasn't around a lot of the neighborhood kids, so that alone made it kind of hard for me to feel like I fit in. Um, I'm also neurodivergent myself, and that made it hard sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I describe First Colonial in high school, the one that me and Shelly went to. It's really like an '80s movie. It's literally there's cliques, there's jocks, there's bullies, there's popular kids, and you just gotta try to survive that shit. I survived by being a bully. that's that's what helped me survive that because I didn't have money like that. You know, I'm not the working class neighborhood, but we're definitely more closer than them than you rich kids where you're from. You know, the little neck part.
Well, I mean, going to a school like that while you're just, trying to really understand your own identity as a teen who is adopted, it's a lot, I think.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. Anything else to share about why you think she might have been acting out? Why does the media keep focusing on this on for her? That she had a lot of, is this what your neighborhood does? I mean, like I already said that, like, the dad didn't help. He also perpetuated that, she had a lot of friends. She didn't listen to me a lot.
Well, I mean, the way the media seems to kind of focus on that, I mean, it almost paints a picture of like, oh, another death due to substance abuse or something like that, so they're not paying as much attention to it.
Yep, and then there was no drugs in her system upon her death at all. So that part, she was just getting cigarettes and talking to her friend at 7-Eleven.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's been painted this way. It leaves a lot of questions when you hear that she was not on anything.
I mean, really, still, like, regardless, right? Even if she was doing whatever, I mean, she's still 18 years old.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's, basically a child, so.
Yeah. Yeah. She was a kid hanging out with other kids her age. I mean, who cares if it was in a slightly different economical class than where she was? She was brutally murdered.
Yeah, and okay, and also some of you rich kids too over back there, you were just as bad. Maybe worse because you had more resources to do terrible things with. So it wasn't just like good side of the tracks, bad side of the tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, I think just really want to reiterate that point that it doesn't matter if she was having quote unquote high risk behaviors.
High risk lifestyle, okay? That makes her seem like I don't know what she was doing. She's a mafia boss or something. Live fast, die hard. Right. That's high risk lifestyle.
High risk lifestyle. I don't think whatever that means entails that she's at risk of a brutal murder at the age of 18.
Yeah. Yeah, we here at Under the Tree agree with you completely. Any other way you'd like to shit on your neighbors and all those kids? This is your chance to publicly do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I never felt like I fit in with any of the kids in that neighborhood, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain.
I wish you would for our listeners. Put yourself in her shoes. Sounds could be similar shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I went to Lynn Haven for 8th grade, which would have been similar people who were at FC. Um, and the people I made friends with at Lynn Haven were not the people in my neighborhood. And it was just because they felt more welcoming. I think the kids in my neighborhood knew each other from, you know, kindergarten up. And if you hadn't known them at that point, like I kind of felt like you just don't matter. I mean, and yeah, that's probably why Shelley was making friends with kids in a separate neighborhood. So is that what is meant by a high risk lifestyle? Being friends with people who are going
Economically
through some things?
disadvantage? Yes. I think that's what that meant.
Right. Which I don't think justifies in any way. Like, how does that make sense? Just because people are at an economical disadvantage that they're gonna go and murder her? I don't like. Why is this even a necessary detail?
I know the way they say it, and it almost like implies to me like she deserves it. Right? I mean, this is why we keep saying, right? She lived a high risk lifestyle. She had a lot of friends, a lot of partners. She knew a lot of people more than average. Okay, she's popular. All right, she smokes cigarettes at 18. She's cool. That doesn't mean anything else more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So sad that they're still, even 2020. When the case they say is allegedly open, but still listed as a cold case on the website. Okay. My question is the stuff that she did under the category of a normal teenager, knowing her circumstance? Whether she came, sure. Okay, she came from money, she had good parents, but still, you already know, like you said, she's not fitting in with her peers.
Right.
And she is adopted.
Right.
She's a teenage girl.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely think that was probably a lot for her to just process and understand. And I do. I mean, rebelling a little bit when you're in your teens is pretty normal, especially under her circumstances. I hear you saying she had a therapist. I really am wondering, like, what else was her history in terms of her mental health and the treatment she was getting?
Yeah, hard to say. Who knows how much the mental health was respected. I mean, at least she had a therapist.
True.
That's huge. Yeah. Right? For around that time, 2005.
Right. I mean, and getting therapy as a teen is hard because you don't want to talk to a grown up. You're going through a lot, and you most of the time don't feel like any adult understands you. So even if she had a therapist, I mean, she may have been sitting in an hour of silence every time she went to see that person.
Guess you won't know unless they subpoena the notes. I hope you did that, Kevin.
I hope so too. But I mean, if she had a regular person she was seeing, I'm sure that she was talking to them. I would be curious if what was shared during her therapy would have reflected some clues.
Yeah, she's probably like, I had to kill a guy because he owed me $3. My high risk lifestyle. That's probably what it was.
Mm.
And then also, I'm just like, how many partners did she have? Just seems like, well, how much could it be that you had to tell someone about that? And then also, we have to reiterate this 15 years later.
Right.
How many people really?
Right.
And then what does that mean if you're having a lot of sex? You guys do know the more sexual partners you have, the more likely you're to die from homicide, right? Those things go right together.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. We appreciate your knowledge here. Do you think you'll come back if we need more psychological
Why is that
psychological insight?
Sure. Sure. Anytime you need some psychological insights, I'm here for you.
All right, thanks. Take care.
You too.
I need some psychological insights for myself. Woo! We did it. We did it. The first episode is over. And the first of anything is the hardest, right? Right? That's what I'll keep telling myself. You know, this was originally supposed to be with my co-host, the third partner, Wham City. So let's try to figure out how to get her back. Is what I want to know. Maybe I'll start a Patreon, and you guys can tip me, and maybe money is what she's after. Then maybe she'll come back to the project. I'm joking. I'm just bitter. I'm doing everything. Ha 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 ha. Well, like we said, today is the 19th anniversary of Shelley's passing. So we definitely appreciate you listening today if you listen to this. Like I said, trying not to solve the case, trying to keep the name alive, keep this on people's radar, and see why. As you can see, the contents of the story is not much because we haven't been released lots of names or anything like that. So you're probably like, oh, what? That's it then? The end? No, we're gonna have a lot of guests on here. Okay, they're gonna speak a lot about Shelley. Because she's more than just 5 articles that have been written about her over the last few years. So appreciate you guys sticking around. Subscribe, like, share, all of that good stuff is much appreciated. Much appreciated. And for the haters, keep hating, all right? Okay, I can see my analytics, all right? I'm sure the haters are the ones in the 65 and up group. But that's fine. That's right. Go listen to a 2020 ABC podcast, okay? I don't got millions of dollars for production behind my back. All right? There's no intern to write a script for me that I read, okay? This is nuts and bolts under the tree. Under the tree. So there will not be an episode next week. I am going on vacation. Woohoo! That'll be fun. And then I'll be back with a guest. Maybe that guest will be you. Maybe that guest is you. I want to talk to family members of Shelley that are still around. I want to talk to her former friends. Before the good girl and after the bad girl friends, all the friends. Want to talk to the oldies, all right? That might have been friends with her dad or her mom, right? So I'll talk to the detective. Anyone, okay? You want to come? I'll talk to you, all right? But I'm going to get somebody, not the next week, but the week after that. Okay? Well, thank you all. I'm signing off now. We are done. Episode 1 is done. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now, stick around for episode 2. Enjoy. Have a good day. Bye.